The Secret of the Whispering Woods. One crisp autumn morning in the small village of Maplebrook, there was a mystery that had been whispered about for generations. The older folks always spoke of the Whispering Woods, a dark forest that lay just beyond the village. They said that at night, you could hear faint whispers carried by the wind, and no one who entered the woods ever came back the same. Some said it was magic, some said it was a secret treasure, but no one knew for sure. There were always stories. Old stories. Stories of the lost travelers, the glowing lights, the strange shadows, and most of all, the whispers. But Lily didn't believe in any of it. She was bold, clever, and loved a good adventure. It wasn't that she didn't listen to the old stories, she just thought they were too fantastical to be true. After all, she was 12 now, and old enough to know that sometimes things were just stories. But that morning, as she sat on the swing in her backyard, the wind started to pick up. The trees in the distance started swaying as if they were beckoning her. There it was again, the faintest sound carried on the breeze. A whisper. It was so soft she couldn't make it out, but it seemed to be calling her name. Lily! Lily! Lily's heart pounded with excitement. She wasn't scared. In fact, she was more curious than ever. She jumped off the swing and ran inside. Max! She called out to her best friend, Max, who lived just down the street. Max was always up for an adventure, and this was the biggest one yet. Max appeared at the door a few minutes later, breathless and grinning. "You heard it too, didn't you?" he asked, already knowing what she was talking about. "You mean the whisper?" Lily asked, her eyes wide with curiosity. Max nodded. "I've heard it for days now. I think it's time we finally find out what it means." And so, the two of them set off toward the Whispering Woods. The woods were much closer than they had expected. As they reached the edge of the forest, the trees seemed to loom over them, their twisted branches like gnarled fingers reaching out. The air was thick, filled with a deep silence that made Lily feel like she was stepping into another world. Max glanced nervously at Lily. "Are you sure about this?" Lily nodded. "Of course! We're just going to figure out what's making those whispers. It'll be an adventure." But Max wasn't so sure. I mean, the old folks in the village, they say no one comes out of the woods the same. What if? "Come on, Max, don't be such a scaredy cat. We'll be fine. Let's go." Together, they stepped forward into the forest, their footsteps crunching the dry leaves beneath them. The trees whispered with the wind, but there was something different about it this time. It was as though the whispers were waiting for them. As they moved deeper into the forest, the path began to narrow, the light from the outside world dimmed, and everything became darker, as though the trees themselves were closing in on them. The air grew colder, and Lily shivered, tightening her scarf around her neck. "I feel like we're being watched," Max said, his voice barely a whisper. He stopped walking and looked around. Lily laughed nervously, but deep down, she felt a chill creeping up her spine. "Don't be ridiculous. It's just the wind." But even as she said it, she wasn't so sure. The whispers were getting louder now, but they still seemed distant. Max and Lily stopped in their tracks, listening closely. "Did you hear that?" Lily asked, her voice trembling just a little. Max nodded. "It's like something is calling us." They crept forward, the forest now a maze of towering trees and thick shadows. The whispers became more distinct now, and Lily could almost make out words. "Find it. Find the light." "What is that?" Max whispered, his voice shaking. Ahead, they saw a faint glow flickering between the trees. They hurried toward the light, and as they rounded a bend, they found themselves standing before a small pond. The water was perfectly still, and the glow they had seen was coming from above it. It was a soft golden light that shimmered like fireflies, hovering just above the surface of the water. Lily couldn't help herself. She stepped closer, mesmerized by the light. "It's beautiful," she whispered. But as she did, the ground beneath her feet suddenly trembled. A low growl echoed through the trees. Max grabbed her arm. "We need to go, now!" But Lily couldn't move. Something was pulling her forward, urging her to touch the water. She stepped closer to the pond, reaching out with a trembling hand. The moment her fingers brushed the air above the water, the ground shook violently, and a flash of light blinded them both. When the light faded, everything was still, but the air had changed. The trees were quieter, and the wind had stopped completely. The forest was holding its breath. Suddenly, figures emerged from the shadows, figures made of mist, swirling and moving like clouds. They were tall, shadowy, and seemed to shimmer in the fading light. Lily and Max froze, too scared to move. One of the misty figures stepped forward, its form solidifying into a tall, robed figure with glowing eyes. "You found us," the figure said, its voice echoing strangely, as if carried by 1,000 winds. Max took a step back. What are you?" "We are the guardians of the forest," the figure replied. "We protect the secret." "What secret?" Lily asked, her voice trembling. The figure waved a hand, and the ground beneath them seemed to ripple. "The secret of the Whispering Woods. For generations, we have protected the knowledge that lies hidden here." "But you, Lily, and you, Max, have found it." Lily's heart raced. "What do you mean?" The figure's eyes softened. "The light you saw is the heart of the forest. It calls to those who are brave enough, who seek the truth. But once you know the secret, you are bound to this place. Forever." Max looked at Lily, his face pale. "You mean we can never leave?" The misty figure nodded. "Once you touch the light, you become part of the forest. Your lives will be forever entwined with its magic. You will guard its secret, but you will never be the same." Lily's mind raced. She thought of her family, her home, her village. "Is there a way to undo it?" she asked, her voice barely a whisper. The figure shook its head. "There is no going back, but you will have the knowledge of the forest, its power, its wisdom. It is a gift and a burden." Max shuddered. "What do we do now?" "You must choose," the figure replied, "to stay or to return. But remember, whatever you choose, you will never be the same." The misty figure started to fade, leaving behind a soft glow that filled the clearing. Lily and Max stood in silence, the weight of their decision pressing down on them. Finally, Max spoke. "Lily, what do we do?" Lily took a deep breath, her heart pounding. "We have to go back. We can't stay here." The misty figure nodded slowly. "Then you must go. But know this, the forest will always be with you. Its whispers will follow you wherever you go." With that, the figures vanished completely, leaving only the still, glowing pond. Slowly, the two friends turned and made their way back through the woods, the air still and heavy with the mystery they had uncovered. As they stepped out of the forest and back into the village, the sun was beginning to set. The whispers had stopped, but Lily knew they weren't really gone. The forest would always be with them, waiting for the next brave soul to uncover its secret. And Lily knew, deep down, that she would return one day. The end.